If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. Before I get deep into the video, I want to show you a few things here. Number one, a video I put up yesterday, I don't even know what's in it that would be considered dangerous content, where I just showed you the news anchor, the news clip of talking about conspiracy and how they're deflecting off of it. I say nothing offensive. I don't, maybe I pushed the guy, I called the guy a loser, big deal. YouTube removed the video. I mean, you kidding me? Really? What in the world is controversial about? So they removed the video, so I'm going to put that up on my website. But another thing that I want everyone to know is this video right here, I wanted to upload this clip and these pieces from HBO about this new documentary, which is talking about fake news and conspiracy, and it's this huge deflection piece that really shows you how they want to push all conspiracies into the alt-right. And it focuses heavily on PlZZAGATE. I tried to upload the clips here. They won't let me upload the clips here. So there's an exclusive video with all of that on my website, acallforanuprising.com. So if you're a member, make sure you go over there and check it out. If you're not a member, I recommend checking it out. Even seeing clips like this, it's $2.99 a month. There's exclusive content over there that's not being allowed to get uploaded here. But even if you don't even want to see the videos, again, there's a forum, there's a way to interact with other people, share your videos, share what you know, share things that you might be reading about that you want to discuss. It really is a great way to interact instead of just commenting underneath videos on YouTube where you know half the comments go into spam, half the comments get attacked by trolls. Over there, if you actually want to have intellectual conversations about this stuff, you can. So one of the things this documentary is focused on primarily is PlZZAGATE, and they show James Fontes is interviewed in it. And I show this on my website, and he's sweating profusely. He's all nervous. But this article came out. I'm going to, mix in. This is going to be a pretty good rant. So please make sure you stay tuned. But because I have some stuff I want to get off my chest too about this infiltration of anything that was even brought up about this whole movement. But let me start with Ali Fontes, and then this article that's out, which talks about how Comet Ping Pong is again under attack. They're saying a new uptick in messages, a lot of them coming from Germany. I mean, what? And the article kind of goes into stuff, and I'm like laughing when I'm reading it because it says stuff like this, a brand new video on YouTube linking the conspiracy theory to Barack Obama and the late Anthony Bourdain. That's like one of the first videos I did 3 or 4 years ago about this whole thing. Now, if you were a subscriber to my channel back then, you know that, and look, I don't ever pat myself in the back, and I'm not patting myself in the back, but that was one of the big things. I was one of the people that blew open anything involving just what was happening there, right? The signs, the symbols, the weirdness of the Instagram posts, the connection to these political figures, being in the White House, stuff like that. Not the stuff that's completely, is bogus crap where it's about elections and votes and stuff. I was just pointing out that stuff. I wasn't saying that there's a locker or whatever it was. There's a room and stuff like that could potentially, people were just getting out of control with some of the stuff, which is understandable because they're passionate, the people who actually care about kids. And then the whole movement ended up getting hijacked anyway. Of course, we had the fake story that occurred outside D.C. A lot of people flip-flopped and they said, they wanted us to find the story from the get-go so they could regulate us, where you could look at it and say, hey, we were blowing the lid off of something clearly, and they had to deflect and create some type of huge story to shut it down, which is what I believe happened. But everyone's entitled to their opinion, but what we had was a massive hijack. And people then just suddenly started becoming, trying to become heroes for kids on YouTube and all over the internet and faces of the alt-right. And they made the entire thing, instead of about this satanic cult and about how trafficking is the biggest business in the world, they made it about Donald Trump followers versus Hillary Clinton followers, about how this stuff was all about, voting and manipulating the election through fake news. It's a joke, right? We had all these fake alt-right people pop up like Jack Posobiec and all these just absolute lowlifes who were, milking off of this. But they were sent there as plants from intelligence agencies. They always like to deflect and pretend they're not. These people, came out of nowhere. Now they're on CNN, they're on Fox News, and that's one of the things when people, look, you have every right to attack me or not. I get when people go, oh, you have 500,000 subscribers. You got to be one of them. You don't get that many. And I get there's people who don't want to think, hey, maybe people actually like the channel and like, my voice and stuff like that. Fine, that's fair. But I don't show my face for a reason, not because I'm hiding anything, because I don't want to be a face of a political movement. I don't want to be a face on top of the message of the channel. It's not the message of the channel. I said that a million times. You don't see me on Fox News or any of this stuff. You never hear mine. Have you ever heard a call for an uprising on the news mention? No. Mention Alex Jones. They mention Posobiec. They mention that other guy with the gap in his teeth who throws up the 666, right? And that's for a reason, because the message that they show and tell is about politics. And as long as they keep you trapped in politics, right, then you're trapped completely. Now, I get it that people want to believe that, but that politics are real because they want to have hope. But I tell you right now, truth or channels that talk about politics like they're real are and I'm not saying some intentionally do it. I think some are just really slow and they don't get it. But I mean, it's just garbage. You can't believe in a giant conspiracy and believe, the Federal Reserve's control and all these people in Zion and the Vatican and all that, and then say, oh, but the people elect, right, the president of the free world, that we have the choice. I mean, come on, really? So anyway, back to this story as I continue to rant on. They're saying here that this new conspiracy came out with Barack Obama and Anthony Bourdain. That was something I covered a long time ago when they're eating hot dogs together. But they go on in this article and they say it's coming back up again because of the election with Trump and how they're going to try to manipulate the election again. And it's such an utter joke. I'm surprised they even have the guts to bring it back up. But like I said, in the documentary, you could see Oliphant is sweating bullets. And he's like, I posted pictures of my godchildren. He's got like hundreds of pictures, which I've exposed, of kids who are not his godchildren, taped to tables, pictures and memes of like little kids staring up guys' rear ends. And they bring up the LGBT in it, and they say that one of the reasons that we all believe that something was going on there is because we have a tendency to believe that people who are in the LGBT prey on children, which a lot of people know to be, well, pretty legit. I can't go further into detail about that because let's be honest, how sensitive the YouTube is. You're not allowed to have an opinion that's different than everybody else's, and it's hate speech if you pick on anyone. But of course, people can pick on me, people can pick on you, people can pick on Christians, conspiracy people, but you can't pick on that community. So, long story short, I put this video up on my website where you can see it over there. But I wanted to just bring this up because they're even talking about, there's an article, Washington Post said, will Comet survive, the C-19 outbreak? Wouldn't that be wonderful if it didn't? That'd be great. But that, obviously that'd be part of their plan, right? They'll probably relocate it somewhere else. I mean, one of the things that, when I was talking about this when it all happened and trying to remain open-minded, and obviously I never believed in politics, so I didn't believe it was about that, was the fact that they did have, the underground tunnels there in D.C., right around the same spot. They had the Clintons, had the, what was it called? Their non-for-profit business across the road, the restaurants and places next door had all the symbols that we see, occult symbols, the black and white tile, the spirals. I mean, it was insane. And then you had the Masonic temple at the end of the road, and you had the school, which was controlled by, and tons of videos. And then, the bands that all played there, they're all satanic. They're all referencing this stuff when they're on stage. This isn't stuff that they won't talk about in the news. All they'll do is they'll come into the news and they'll say WikiLeaks emails, Mr. Podesta and Olifantis, and then all these people believe these were code words. And what it was really about was winning the election for Trump and hurting Hillary Clinton. And it's nothing but a BS narrative. And that's why I'm doing this video, because I just saw this and it just pissed me off, again, thinking about all this stuff. And look, I get it if you don't believe it was real. Personally, the thing I tell everybody who says I don't think it was real is, look, when things happen, if people actually expose stuff, you don't think that they're going to try to do a huge deflection piece? They want you to flip your opinion on stuff. And I'm not saying that the majority of things that people were saying about what was happening at this establishment is true, because people were getting out of control with some stuff, believing that underneath it there was this or there was that. But the overall, just creepy vibe that, you would think that if this was happening, if your neighbor was posting this on Instagram, the police would be at the front door investigating the person, let alone the fact that this guy's hanging out at the White House with Obama, and he's getting listed as one of the richest, most influential people in D.C. He runs a pizza place. And the pizza, look, I'll tell you right now, as an Italian, this is the grossest looking pizza I've ever seen in my life that this place is serving. And I'm talking like Domino's, Papa John's, like not real pizza that makes you puke. Like Papa John's is revolting. Is actually more appealing than this. And they're like, well, Jake Tapper's coming into the restaurant and the politicians and senators. It's a joke. So anyway, I just wanted to rant about it. That video, again, is up on my website. They're talking about there's an uptake again. These people are getting harassed again. And the guy who, they don't mention in the documentary, but the guy who came in supposedly and set fire to the place has been sentenced now to 4 years. So we have him in there for 4 years. We have the guy who went in with the rifle for 4 years, right? Because this is kind of something that's never going to go away. So I wouldn't be surprised if they shut it down and moved it. It's just a front for Ali Font. He can come out with another business. He had a meat shack, I think, like 2 places down. He had another restaurant anyway. So complete and utter joke. But just watch out for these alt-right guys who love to pretend that they care about kids because they prey off of getting a fan base. I was talking about kids on my channel from the first video that I put up. And that's why, a lot of people who have been subs for a long time know that. And about, Satanism and how the number of kids who go missing, and talking about even those numbers, 800,000 they claim are beyond deflated numbers. It's way higher than that. And how this should be this main story of the news every night, and why they do it, and the occult, and why they need these children and prey on these children, not just because of a perversion, because of this black magic that Aleister Crowley taught, and specifically, the type of kids and all of this stuff, right? And unfortunately, now you just have this narrative about the kids that's about, well, these guys are just perverts, liberal perverts. And it's about winning, then the other story is, oh, these people are crazy because they want to win the election for Trump because they're hateful bigots. And really, in reality, these guys don't, care about saving kids. They don't care about making people aware of the occult's grip on our society worldwide, that these people actually exist. They make it about politics. They make it about themselves. And that's really what's sad about it. So that's why I wanted to rant about it, because watching the documentary just really pissed me off. Brought me back to a place, when I was doing those videos, it was extremely dark time in my life, because I wasn't sleeping. I was on edge. I was snapping at everything. And whether the people, believed me or not, or believed, it's not me, believed in the story that was coming out from it or not, it touched a lot of nerves with a lot of people, and it woke a lot of people up. So that was one of the positives that came out of it. But obviously, like I said at the time with the election and stuff, because people were like, Trump's going to drain the swamp. It's 4 years later, right? Or Hillary's going to be thrown in jail. I'm like, you guys are so dumb if you believe this stuff. And yet these people still believe it. They still believe Trump's not one of them, right? They're like, oh, he's going to expose it. And then now they're like, well, we can't because QAnon, or, the QAnon thing. I mean, it's just joke after joke after joke. None of this stuff is about politics. It's a veil. It's a shield to distract you from who these people are and what they're really doing. This is not a free world. As you can see right now, with everything going on with these lockdowns, it's not a free world. Again, a reminder, that video's up on my website. Thank you guys who are already on the website, and thank you everybody here on YouTube. Again, they took down that video I put up yesterday. I'll put that up over on the website as well. There's absolutely nothing controversial in it. It's a total joke they took it down. But that's YouTube for you. I mean, I don't think they even know what they're doing half the time when they're taking these videos down. There seems to be zero protocol. Surprise, surprise. Thank you for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.